I think I'm live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the group, to the community. I am Alison Reiner, and as you know, I'm your Loved Again and Forever coach. This creation is my baby. This place that we're in is my baby, my vision, my safe place for you to come and ask questions about your relationship. Let me close down this other thing so I'm not talking to you through the noise. Ask questions about your relationship, ask questions about how you can transform your relationship, seek advice, accept help, and support others. That was my vision for this group. And what I love about it is we are not at all whingy. We're all looking for a solution. We're all coming here with the problems that we have, and we look for a solution for them. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes to see if anybody pops on here live. I didn't even announce that I was going to do this because this has just come up for me now, and I think it's really kind of important for me to flag it up in case anyone else is wondering. So I see somebody's online. Say hello. Give me a little thumbs up or a love heart even. Just so I know who it is. I'll wait for a second or so and see if anyone else comes on. If not, I would recommend highly that you, in fact, I'll probably pin this to the top of the group for anyone new coming in. So it's Caroline. Hi and bye. This isn't for you anyway. You know me. You know exactly what I do. You know what I'm, all about me. You've been there. You've been through it. So there's nothing here that you need to listen to, Caroline. This is for anybody who's in the group and maybe hasn't really understood what the group's about or what I'm about. So let me tell you about the group first of all. As I say, it is a community. A Loved Again and Forever is the name of the group because that's exactly what I want. It's a kind of play on words because we are all women and a few men, I think, who are at certain stages in our relationship, not necessarily happy, not necessarily sure that we want to take the relationship ahead, and completely stuck as to how to make changes. That's who I wanted to attract in here, because you're the people that I can help. You're the people that I can show a different way to. So if that's you, this is a great place for you. If you're somebody who is very interested in learning about self-confidence, self-esteem, self-love, great. This is the place for you too, because this is, that's what we talk about here. So please stay and always feel welcome to ask questions on whatever subject you've got. It doesn't necessarily have to be your long-term relationship. But that is the crux of this group. It was set up because there are so many groups out there for people who are unhappily married, and all those groups are set up to do is to give you a place to go and complain and to bitch and to moan, and nobody in there, as far as I can see, is looking for solutions. This is a solution-based group. I want you to moan, I want you to complain, I want you to shout, but at the end of the day, then we move through it, because that's step one. Getting the anger out is step one. But there has to be more than that. There really has to be more than that. You need to move through it. You need to start working on forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of the process, forgiveness of your partner, and look for the solution. And that's what we do in here. So that's one thing that I want to say. But who the hell am I and what do I do? And I'm saying this because I'm a little bit frustrated. Probably I haven't made myself clear enough in the past. So I'm a coach. Now, what does that mean? That means I'm not a counsellor. It means I'm not a therapist. It means I'm not going to spend weeks and months and years with you as you would do if you went to visit a therapist or a counsellor, taking you back to identify the root of your problems. That doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve us. If you're unhappily married, if you're unhappy in any aspect of your life, going back to understand what in your childhood brought you to this point isn't going to solve your problem. You may want to do that when you started working on your problem. It may be something that you need to visit as we go through the process, but it's not the starting point. And I tell you exactly why it's not the starting point. It's not the starting point because if you go back there and you'll end up getting stuck there. You'll be so caught up in all the, on everything that happened, that it's going to be really difficult to bring you back to the future, to the present. And we need to be in the present moment. We need to be accepting what's happening in the present moment, absolutely and 100%, in order to move forward. There is no other way to get the transformation in your life than actually taking action. And I say that because I've just had a conversation with somebody who is about to start counselling as opposed to starting work with me, which is absolutely fine. But when I spoke to her and when I asked her about it, she seemed to think that they were one and the same, and that's just not the case. I will take you back only to revisit those blocks that are keeping you stuck here, whatever is keeping you stuck here. Now, there are very few of them. Fear is one, fear of something, belief of, of some sort of not being lovable, not being loved, and sorry, my light's flashing on and off, and I've lost my thread. And people pleasing, not being able to stand up for yourself, not being able to set boundaries. Those are the major stumbling blocks in our relationships. Now, in those circumstances, when it's not as simple as saying, okay, I need to put boundaries in place, boom, 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 put them in place and move forward. When there's resistance to that, we'll go back and we'll find out where the resistance is coming up, but we don't start back there. So I want to make that very, very, very clear. I am a coach, and what a coach does is she takes you, or he takes you, from the present day, make sure that you are 100% in acceptance of your current situation. Your current situation, yes, is based on every single decision or non-decision that you have made to date. And when you can accept that, you're then ready to move forward. You're ready to create the vision of the future you want. Without that vision, we're not going to move out of this place either. But we, as coach and coachee, move forward. We don't look back except to clear out those blocks. We don't spend time in the past, because time in the past does nothing except elevate your sense of self-pity. I know, I've been there. I'm very, very lucky. I started the coaching process to move forward before I went back. But I've had clients who started in counselling, started in therapy, and find it very, very difficult to come to the present day and take responsibility for themselves. They also find it very, very difficult to make decisions, because counselling and therapy isn't designed to help you make decisions. It's designed to flag up your thinking, no more than your thinking. Why am I telling you this? Well, in the last couple of weeks, I've had 2 people tell me that they can go and find a counsellor for much less money than they pay me to go through one of my courses or one of my programs. And I can't argue with that. You will find counsellors who are much cheaper than me. And if you're in the UK or in America, apparently you can even find them on, with your insurance or through the NHS. Now, I can't compete with that, but I don't want to compete with that. I'm not here to compete with it. I'm here to transform your life with your help. I'm here to get you from stuck and unhappy to where you want to go, to that vision that you and I will create together. Ah, thank you. Who's sending me a love heart? Is that still Caroline? I can't, and I won't, because I'm not trained to take you back. But more than not trained, I don't think it's useful. I don't think if your main problem is you're unhappy, you've reached a point where, probably you've been unhappy for a long time, or things have been like this for a long time, and suddenly you started working on yourself, and you find that there's a distance between you and your husband. that you seem not to be able to bridge, that you can't take that step across, then your major problem is not how bad your childhood was, how your parents treated you, why you believe things. You need to go back and understand what it is you actually believe, not the why, but the what, because that what is what we bring forward. And that what, if you look at any of my courses, the very first part of the course is rewriting your love story. And what does that mean? That means going back and looking at those beliefs, thinking about those beliefs, and understanding how they are affecting your life, not why they're in the first place. That you can do that in your own time. You can do that for pleasure, but not on my watch, and not to get results, not to get to the point where you are in control of your life. And I'm sorry, I'm slightly emotional at this, and that's exactly what I'm about. I want you to have results. I want you to create that life. I don't want you to stay stuck and miserable. I don't want, one of the questions I ask is, if you do nothing, what will your life be like in 6 months, in 2 years, in 5 years? Now, I didn't make that question up. That's the standard coaching question. But what would it be like if you do nothing today, in 6 months' time? What will it be like with 6 months more of this feeling inside, or in 2 years, or in 5 years? I tell you what it'll be like. It'll be even more miserable. Hi, bye, Caroline. The same. It will be even more miserable. But what's worse than that is every moment, or every week, every month that you don't take action, your choice gets more and more and more limited. When you actually step into your power and you start creating your life, you start setting a plan and working towards it, and working out how you can rejiggle the dynamic in your marriage, how you can reconnect with your husband, how you can reconnect with yourself. When you start taking responsibility for that, you start to create choice. When you don't take responsibility for that, not because you don't want the responsibility, but maybe because you don't know. If you're anything like me, you didn't know that you had a choice. I didn't know that I had a choice to change the way I thought, or to change the way I lived, or to change my circumstances, or to change the way that my husband and I connected. I didn't know. So when I didn't know, I couldn't do anything to change it. When I did know, I bloody well did everything I could to make sure that I could. But when, if you don't do anything, either by choice or by lack of knowledge, then over time you reduce your choice. And at the end, the choice comes down to living miserably together or divorcing. There is nothing in between. And that's the bit that breaks my heart. That's the bit that breaks my heart. And unfortunately, I don't see that counselling and therapy is going to help you with that. It's going to help you with many other things. So don't get me wrong for a second. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. I'm not telling you that it's wrong. It's absolutely valid for a certain type of problem. It's absolutely valid for you if that's what you feel is right. But don't go into it thinking that you're going to move forward, because you won't. You're going to stay. Yes, you'll have a great understanding of yourself, and with that understanding, you can then make a decision to move forward. But it's not automatically given. And as I say, my experience has been, I have clients who've been in counselling, and when they come to me, it takes a long time for me to break through that, that psychoanalysis and that overthinking, and that needing to understand why, and his point and that point and this point, and instead of just saying, this is it, this is how it lies at the moment, what am I going to do? Because I'm not happy here. What do I want? How am I going to get there? Let's start moving. And then when you start moving, you give yourself a certain power, you take control back, and you start navigating and changing. And of course you change, because what you think you want now might be different in two weeks' time or 3 months' time, when you're doing that work and you're really feeling the difference in your life. So this is a bit of a long rant from me, but as I say, I was kind of taken aback that I wasn't taken aback at all. I was kind of shocked at the fact that somebody who had come and expressed interest then told me that she could get cheap counselling elsewhere. I don't even argue with it. I wish you well. I wish you the best of luck with whatever you choose. But know that what I offer is not counselling. It's not aimed at getting you to understand the why. It's aimed at getting you to create what it is that you barely even... Oh, I'm getting love hearts. Oh, it's Caroline. Oh, thanks, Caroline. That part that you're barely even allowing yourself to dream of. That's the part that we're going to work on together. That's the part that, if you are sick and tired of living like this, if you're sick and tired of one moment thinking that you're going to leave, the next moment finding reasons not to leave, and going round in that circle of exhaustion, you're ready to do something about it, then let's talk. Because I'll kick your ass and get you doing something about it. I will get you so clear and so sure on what it is that you want from your relationship, but from your life as a whole, that you can't fail, that you won't fail to get what you want. So that's all I've got to say. I would love if you get any feedback. If you watched this all the way to the end, and you've watched me ranting and raving, and you have any questions, then do please let me know. Does anyone have any? I can see there are a couple of people. I can see Caroline loving me at the bottom, which is great. Any questions? No. If you would like to talk about it, if you find yourself in the position that I'm talking about and you want to talk about it, have a coffee with me, look at ways we can work together, fine. What I don't do is jump on a coffee with you and try to sell to you. I'm not very good at that. But if I do think that I can help you, I'll certainly tell you, because I'm very good at that. I'm not going to answer that here, not because I don't want to answer it here, because it's because I like to do that one-to-one or in a different section. What you can do, however, is go and have a look at my website, which is alisonreiner.com, Amber. However, there's a group program coming up, which will be at a different level, a different cost point to the one that you'll find on on my website. I'll give you my website details below. But before I work with anyone, I like to speak to you. I like to make sure that we're on exactly the right page, that we're absolutely working for the same reason, that we're moving in the same direction, and that we're both at the same level. Because if not, I might push you too hard. You might resent me, or we might not be friends at the end of it, and I don't want that at all. And obviously I want to speak to whoever I work with, because I need to know which is the best way to work with you. Do I offer you something in a group? Do I offer you one-to-one? Do you need a few sessions with me? Do you need 3 months with me, 6 months? What's going to work best for you? How much hand-holding do you need? How autonomous is your thinking? Are you an action taker? So if we meet once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I say, okay, what are you going to do next week? And you give me a list of things, undertakings that you're going to do, you'll go off and do it? Or do you need somebody shoulder to shoulder with you, sort of nudging you along, saying, come on now, like I have to do with my kids, like I have to do with myself? Actually, that's why I have a business mentor, to make sure that I'm taking the same action as I'm talking about. So have a look there, Amber. We're going to have a coffee anyway. We're just going to have a girly coffee, a virtual coffee, to get to know each other better. I'm happy to talk to you about costs and whatever on that. That's not the purpose of the call. It's just I want to get to know you all a bit better. Any other questions? Was I a bit bouncy and high horseish? That's my question. So I'm going to go now, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you. Okay, love to everybody. Bye.